Muy buenas tardes, bienvenidos sean todos nuevamente a este salón. Esperamos que hayan tenido muy buen provecho. Damos inicio ahora a una serie de jornadas de seminarios donde vamos a tocar diferentes temas sumamente importantes. Sin embargo, antes de dar inicio a este momento, quiero invitar al presidente del Banco Interamericano de Desarrollo, Ilan Goldfajn, y también tenemos el honor de contar con la presencia en esta tarde de la excelentísima vicepresidenta de la República Dominicana, Raquel Peña, a quien pido un fuerte aplauso de parte de todos ustedes para recibirlos en este escenario.
On the stage. I will now ask the President of the Inter-American Development Bank, Ilan Goldfajn, who is now on the stage, to give us some welcoming remarks. Your Excellency, Raquel Peña, Vice President of the Dominican Republic, José Manuel Vicente Muc, Minister of Finance of the Dominican Republic, governors of the bank and corporation, ambassadors, members of the diplomatic corps, executive directors, colleagues, and from the senior management of the IDB, guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us to kick off the IDB's and IDB Invest's annual meeting seminars. I would like to extend a special welcome to Vice President Raquel Peña, and thank you for being with us today and doing us the honor of opening the seminar sessions with us. I also thank the Dominican Republic as a whole, our host for this historic annual meeting in beautiful Punta Cana. I hope you will all have a chance to enjoy all that Punta Cana and the remarkable Dominican Republic have to offer.
Switch to English to welcome everybody. I must start saying that it's not an exaggeration that this annual meeting truly is historic. It will be remembered for years as the annual meeting that changed the IDB group and potentially the region. For the first time ever, we are proposing 3 simultaneous changes that will reshape the IDB group into a bigger, better, and more impactful institution. So what are these transformational changes? Number 1, a new institutional strategy that could increase the impact and scale of our work. We will focus on poverty and inequality, boosting economic growth, and addressing climate change. We'll have a new vision, business model, and capitalization for IDB Invest. That's the second transformational. It will give them a much greater investment power to unlock private sector growth. Number 3, a new vision and model for IDB Lab, our innovation laboratory, including replenishment, a new sustainable model that overall will allow it to triple its resources it mobilizes per dollar deployed and to scale up 40% of its projects. Before previewing the seminars, let me spend a moment talking about some of the challenges and opportunities for the region. The region faces a triple challenge: rising social demand, people are impatient for change, a lack of resources to meet these demands, and low growth that make it difficult and harder to generate the resources. All this, in addition to suffering from the increasingly frequent impact of climate change. But the region also has great potential to help solve some of our biggest shared global challenges. Our meeting here is taking place at a potential inflection point in the region's history. For decades, Latin America and the Caribbean has been viewed through the lens of its needs. It needs financing, it needs investment. But today, the world also needs Latin America and the Caribbean. That's because the region is potentially part of the solution to global challenge like climate change. 3 examples. Nature and biodiversity, the Amazon rainforest, that absorbs 25% of all CO2 on Earth, essential to mitigate climate change. Number 2, clean energy. Almost 30% of Latin America and the Caribbean energy comes from renewable sources. That's double the average already. What about minerals? Latin America is home to 2/3 of the lithium, 38% of its copper, crucial to the green transition. Finally, what about food security? Big problem of the world. Latin America and the Caribbean produces already enough food to feed 1.3 billion people. In sum, what we're saying is that with the right reforms and investment, the region could be at the center of the effort to protect the world's biodiversity, provide clean energy, and alleviate food security. So the question is, how can we, at the IDB, as the partner of the region and the bridge between Latin America and the world, how can we help the region seize these opportunities? Let's start with one aspect, is being strategically selective about the priorities we want to focus when we invest in the region. This is a key aspect of the new institutional strategy. Strategic selectivity means that we will focus like a laser on the areas that are more important to the region's future. In the same way, we have also carefully selected the seminar topics related to the priority areas laid out in our institutional strategy. Reducing poverty and inequality, boosting economic growth, and addressing climate change. That leads me to the seminars, each of which relates not just to these key areas I mentioned earlier. On climate change and clean energy, we have several sessions. One session, opportunities for shaping the future, accelerating the energy transition in Latin America and the Caribbean. That focuses on mobilizing private impact investment into the energy sector. While many countries in the region are moving towards renewable energy, but it's not all smooth sailing. In this session, we'll share valuable insight from the International Energy Agency's groundbreaking Latin America and the Caribbean Energy Outlook report. The conversation will delve on the complexities of the energy transition and help us develop a path for advancing the clean energy transition, which is key to tackling climate change. We will also hold a session on unleashing financial innovation for climate change. Financial innovation is a priority for the IDB. The IDB group has been at the forefront of designing new financial instruments, including debt for nature swaps, currency hedge solution, IDB Klima program, IDB Invest Solutions has lending in domestic currency. The panel will cover and the recent impact of financial innovation. It will feature high-level officials from Latin America showcasing the application of different financial instruments. It will also focus how the IDB is helping countries address climate change and how we'll scale up this work. We also hold several sessions on reducing poverty and inequality. One session, Learning Can Wait, the urgency of accelerating investments and results in education. It will focus on the urgent need for more resources for quality education. In this session, we'll dive into the PISA results and what they mean for Latin America and the Caribbean. We'll also release our new joint report with the World Bank that we have an MOU, and it will analyze these results even further. We'll then discuss how the IDB can help tackle our region's learning crisis and how can we implement innovative financing strategies for smart spending in education. We also have a seminar on confronting inequality in Latin America and the Caribbean. We recently launched the Latin America and the Caribbean Inequality Review, a groundbreaking study with the London School of Economics, with Yale, with the Institute for Fiscal Studies, and we do a groundbreaking research on inequality. The study includes 60 social scientists working on the problem and proposing solutions. We have learned a lot about inequality, and this session that you'll see will focus on how can we tackle it better and ultimately help reduce both poverty and inequality in Latin America. Another focus is, as I mentioned, boosting sustainable growth. How can we do it? Stability, rule of law are all essential to foster more investment and productivity growth. But there's a new one. Not new for the region, but new in terms of what we believe. City security has become a key regional malaise. So we organize a seminar too, ensuring citizen security strategies for safer societies that focuses on tackling crime, violence, which limits economic growth. A panel of experts will discuss the magnitude of crime in the region. The IDB will showcase our security and justice agenda to countries address the challenge. Last but not least, we need to increase the impact and scale of our own work. We need to take a deep dive on our major reforms that we are proposing. The transformational changes at the IDB Invest and the IDB Lab, the private sector-oriented parts of the IDB group. They're renewing their business models. They are renewing their ability to mobilize investment on a greater scale, but importantly, in a greater impact. IDB Invest could double its size in a few years. It will evolve into an original-to-share business model with the capacity to further scale
¿Se escucha?
impact and also mobilize more
¿Estamos bien?
investment in the region while at the same time redistributing risk. For its part, IDB Lab could become a greater innovation hub for inclusion, capable of aggregating different actors, resources, connection, knowledge to close early-stage innovation, high development impact. I encourage you all to attend the session on these important reforms. It's called Originate to Share, Innovating to Mobilize. And it focuses on both organizations, on impact, on scale, on the work on mobilization. More private sector capital is fundamental to what we're going to do. So, what I just say are just few of the sessions we will hold in the next few days to showcase how can we advance in these strategically selected priority areas. As you can see, these are very substantive sessions, at the most critical challenges, but I must say, and opportunities facing our region. These are seminars worthy of such an historical annual meeting we are having, and is key to increasing our impact of our work. I hope you'll be inspired by these sessions and hope you'll come away with new ideas of how we can work better together to improve lives in Latin America and the Caribbean. Thank you very much.
Muchísimas gracias, Ilan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ilan Goldfajn, President of the bank. Thank you for opening this group of seminars. Now we're going to hear from Her Excellency, Vice President of the Dominican Republic, Ms. Raquel Peña. Thank you very much and good afternoon and welcome. Welcome, Mr. Ilan Goldfajn, President of the Inter-American Development Bank. And through you, I convey a very special greeting to your distinguished wife. I know that she is here in Dominican Republic too. We greet Denise Goldfajn. Also, we greet Jose Manuel Vicente, Minister of Finance. He too is going to be your host at this meeting. He is here not only to make you feel at home, but also he will be able to lead discussion of all of these issues. As the president already described, several issues will be addressed. So thank you very much, Jose, for being here with us and for hosting this event. Also, I greet Mrs. Anabel Gonzalez, who is Vice President of Countries at the IDB. Also, Ana Maria Ibanez, Vice President for Sectors and Knowledge of the IDB. Mr. Gerardo Corrochano, Secretary of the IDB. Ms. Susana Sitcha, Deputy Secretary of the IDB, Executive Directors of the IDB, national and international guests from the different countries present here who will be taking part in this annual meeting of the IDB. Welcome to our country. Special guests, friends from the press, the Director of Budget, Mr. Rijos, thank you for being here this afternoon with us. So, a great afternoon to all of you. It is an honor for the Dominican Republic to be the venue for these annual meetings of the boards of governors of the Inter-American Development Bank and of the Inter-American Investment Corporation, IDB Invest. Strengthening regional integration mechanisms is done at these meetings where especially important topics are discussed. Here, on behalf of the Dominican people and in representation of our president, Luis Abinader, I welcome you to this meeting. Right from the start, the Dominican Republic was a founding member of the IDB, and our relationship with the group has been especially important for Dominican Republic. And we have, as time has gone by, strengthened those ties. As was once said by Minister Vicente, today with a project portfolio of greater than $2.5 billion. And once again, I greet Mr. Ilan Goldfajn. And why do I do so? Because for us, it has been a true pleasure to have been able to share with the president of the bank when we took part in a panel session at the World Economic Forum in Davos. We were able to have the opportunity to talk along with other leaders from the region about the different opportunities that exist for Latin America so that we can help seek solutions to global problems. We applaud the ongoing work done by the boards of governors to make the IDB an ever more effective tool to fight poverty, inequality, and climate change. And all of this is done so that we will be able to attain sustainable development of all bank member countries. Latin America shows its great capacity to have an impact on global issues, things like strengthening economic growth, but also increasing the attraction of foreign capital. All of this based on scientific and technological exchanges. At this juncture, the region also has several opportunities in terms of an energy transition, job creation, climate change, food security, and also in the area of conserving biodiversity. All of these issues that I am certain will be discussed at the highest levels by the two boards of governors. In the Caribbean, we are ready to play a more prominent role in the current economic context and to continue to strengthen those ties that foster investment in supply chains, in the diversification of export markets, and also in the development of MSMEs. With this regional vision that we share, our nations and the IDB make efforts so as to be able to tap into these and many other opportunities, showing tangible progress in the strategies and projects under implementation. Thanks to financing development projects and the support to be able to continue to strengthen the technical capabilities as well as research and work done by civil society, IDB Invest, and member countries have been able to deal with many complex challenges through different initiatives that are having a decisive impact on sectors like infrastructure, education, health, transportation, and agriculture. All of us here have examples of the support that we have received from the IDB in several key sectors. And very close to Punta Cana, we have the Saona Island, another tourism magnet of the country. And there, with a hybrid network and photovoltaic modules, 100% of the electrification comes from renewable energy. So this was a key priority for our government, and it was also an important step in terms of energy transition. But perhaps the greatest impact is what we can see directly on the people living on Sauna Island. For example, there is a woman, her name is Mercedes Rodriguez, and with the arrival of electrical power, she can increase her manufacturing of soap. That is her business, because now she can use an electric grinder, and in that way she has been able to expand her production. Used to, she only had to process things by hand. And in terms of solid waste management, IDB is supporting projects like in Panama so as to be able to collect waste in different communities. Here in Dominican Republic, the Comprehensive and Sustainable Management Program has led to closing an open-air dump. And in Colombia, a master plan was prepared to manage and dispose of solid waste in the coffee growing area of the country. Authorities, delegations, these meetings open up a space to be able to strengthen the traditional exchange of ideas, knowledge, but also we can share strategies so that the IDB group and member countries can be able to count on more effective tools to continue to boost the socioeconomic progress of Latin America and the Caribbean. The conversations, the objectives of these meetings reflect the commitment to tackle the multifaceted dimensions of development, going from the need to innovate in resource mobilization, in both the public and private sectors, as well as in the area of attracting foreign investment, reflecting on the energy transition, agricultural innovation, and food security, all of this within the context of fighting climate change. Also, and of course we cannot leave out education and the importance of innovating in the strategies to finance the education sector. Also, we need to look into our vision, a vision that is always evolving regarding economic growth with an inclusive and sustainable effort to deal with inequalities. In other words, we want to make certain that these efforts produce development and improved lives for all of the people. So I call on you, use these debates, use these discussions to enrich the exchange and to come up with innovative solutions that are sustainable. And this can be translated into improving the work done by the bank in the region with a spirit of collaboration. And this is what has been habitual in our relationship with the IDB. The region moves forward, it develops, and it becomes stronger so that its leadership can continue to provide solutions to the challenges faced by the world. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Welcome once again, and I wish you every success during your days of meeting here. So thank you, and may God bless each and every one of you.
Agradecemos las palabras.
We thank Raquel Peña for her words, and also we thank Ilan Goldfajn for his opening remarks. It's a pleasure to have both of you here with us, so thank you. First, I asked you to stay in your seats, and we will soon begin our first seminar.